we're going to switch it up a little bit here. We're going to talk a little bit about give. And Jenn, maybe I'll have you lead us in this and talk a little bit about creative ways that we can give, maybe some things that you've done to give. I think you may be on mute, so we'll have to take you off of that. Hold on a minute, Jenn.
Me. Do you want me to unmute myself? Okay.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so this is my favorite part of Missions with Kids. It's, casting vision and then seeing the ideas that come from it. We've had a bunch of different things that we've done for missions. One year, when we did the Africa Oasis and we were doing the well project, I think actually, Paul, we partnered with your church the one year. Paul and I grew up together, so I broke his glasses in 6th grade playing dodgeball. I still own it.
He may still own his glasses. I don't see his glasses on his face right now.
They're still broken. He's never recovered. But we got a couple of different churches together and we're like, hey, let's put our money together and do well. Our kids, we designed a t-shirt that said, can you help dig it? They wore it for 30 days. They got pledges. We raised $6,000 with that. It was insane. And we didn't have a large kids church at the time. But they saw the vision and they were super excited, and people would see the t-shirts and they'd ask questions, and then they were even raising money like all throughout it. So that was a really cool project. Another year when I was in Janesville, we did lemonade stands. And so my husband and I constructed 2 lemonade stands, and we got together the printed material for the project. I think at that point it was the Sustain Hope is what we worked on that year. But we would have the kids sign up for a day or 2 days, and we'd drop off the lemonade stand with all of the, where the money was going to, and all the supplies. Like, they provided the lemonade, and they would have these lemonade stands. And some of them went above and beyond and sold their artwork. They sold sculptures. They just made a thing. And that, again, was over $5,000 in a summer. We've had kids who have sold bracelets. They have made, a kid at our last year made pens with his dad. He raised $600 by himself. So just little things like that they're little. My daughter, when she was in 5th grade, sold slime, which I hate slime. She made $100 on a Sunday just selling slime to grown-ups. And so yeah, just any little thing like that they get excited about just makes my heart smile.
Yes. Stephen, your church, Family Worship Center, did something unique. Actually, the last couple of years, you've done something rather unique to raise money for missions. And I thought maybe we'd give you a little bit of spotlight and tell us about it. So go ahead. I think I have you muted, so we'll have to unmute you there. There we go.
Hey, you hear me good? Yep. So, yeah. The bringing in the fire pun back, it was a hot wing challenge, and it was from my wife's idea, so I'll give credit where credit's due. I'd love to take credit for it, but my wife had the idea for it. 2 years ago, we were short on a pledge for BGMC, which was $2,020 for the year 2020, and pandemic hit hard and giving went down, and we were really November hit, and we're like, what are we gonna do? We're really short, and so we're like, well, let's put on an event, but it's winter in northern Wisconsin. We can't go anywhere. It's 4 feet of snow outside. It's negative whatever, and so we're just like, well, what about a hot wing challenge? And so there's a show called Hot Ones, and they have their own lineup, and we went and purchased that and did it, and it was the worst thing of all time, and we raised our $1,000 and made the thing. So coming into the next year, which was where we're leading now, a lot of people were like, you're doing that again, right? And there was this excitement born at the very start of the year. And so we bumped up. We said, if I'm doing that again, you guys are going to give. Because that was rough. And so we built this excitement of this event all the way up until, I think it was early December. And we raised over $2,000, I think it was $2,400 in that one night, and it's 10 sauces. If you wanted me to go up another sauce, or everyone, we had 9 people on our panel. You had to give $200. I bet Mark, you bumped us up from sauce 7 to 8 from a J.C. Penney parking lot, in Milwaukee or wherever you were. It's like, what? We were so upset, like we were burdened.
I was in Chicago, and
Chicago.
I was sitting in a parking lot at J.C. Penney and watching you online, and said, "I'm making that bugger. They do the hottest stuff they can."
Oh my goodness! So we had Dave Thomason joined us, who's the senior pastor of Dallas, Wisconsin, as well as the director of Assembly Park Bible Camp, and we also had Debbie Chivers join us, who is the founder of Special Touch Ministries, and then just a whole bunch. Our worship leader joined us, obviously my wife, and a few others. So I guess the idea was kind of born out of if you want kids to really kind of buy into something, do something silly, and maybe do something where you can kind of make yourself look a little foolish. And what you'll find is that adults really can kind of tap into the kids' self themselves. And man, this event is just transcended something I never thought it was. People are already asking about the hot sauces we're going to do this year. And I'm like, you just said the word we, but I think you mean me. And man, it's been something to rally around. So obviously for us, it's hot wings, but bringing this into like what you can do for creativity. Paul, you said creativity is important. And I love that idea. Is there something that you can do that can rally the community around? And it doesn't, and you want to be careful not to make it about the thing, but it can create this event or this excitement that can really, really elevate a lot of people and really have fun with it. I think fun is a really big aspect when it comes to giving, because I don't know, there's a lot of blessing in it. So
yes, I want to talk a little bit more about that, but I downloaded your video from the internet and took a couple minutes out of it, and I thought I'd show the last wing.
Oh my
took
God.
you over 2,000, and the last going out. So I thought I'd show that. I think I have.
Okay, so before you do, before you show it? So the first year we did it, the last swing was 4 million Scoville, and if you don't know what that means, it is just ridiculous. This year, there was actually, the people that made it said they don't have a scale to rate it; it's too hot. But if they had to estimate, it's in the 10 to 15 million Scoville. And so it's like, oh, good. It's 3 times hotter than the hottest sauce I've ever had in my life.
So maybe a 10 million Scoville, whatever that means. I know what Skol means in Minnesota, but I'm not sure what it means in.
So go for it.
But so in comparison, 10 million Scoville. What's like a jalapeno pepper? In Scoville?
I don't know. If you've had sriracha's like 2,000. It's like, if you think sriracha's hot, don't do this challenge.
All right. So let's watch this video real quick.
Yep, we're at 2,000.
Got it.
And
I will say, Mark Cookman just said, "On a wing and a prayer, I'll be there." But I became a vegan. I'll
put it on tofu, Mark.
I just became vegan.
Put it on tofu.
Cauliflower
That'll
wings.
really soak it up.
All right, here we go.
Oh!
Just a touch, right? For Jesus, for
BGMC.
Bless our bodies. Amen.
Oh, I already looked at it.
What is this? Why are you eating more?
Because I'm eating a wing.
Oh, it just came out.
This isn't a lick it challenge. This is an eat it challenge.
This is a lick it challenge.
Heavy enough. Smooth ball.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, that was a touch.
That one actually tastes pretty good.
All I taste is battery acid on the last 4 months. All tasted like battery acid.
Becca, you okay?
Yeah, okay. Go for it.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay. No, face into the snow. Do it. Yeah.
And here it is.
Bailey.
I called it. Ready?
Like we did in between those other things. The pain in between. Oh, whereas like you let it cool down with the other way. Like,
Oh, I touched my face.
Oh,
I touched my face.
Is that your favorite?
Okay.
Do that.
For those of you that are still with us,
Oh my God.
we raised $2,000 tonight for BGMC.
Yes!
Thank you to everyone who gave.
Thank you.
This puts our total for the year for Family Worship Center around $3,400. That is $1,000 more than last year.
Wow.
Woo!
Grand Club, baby.
Woo! And every year, I feel like every year we can keep getting bigger and better. Thank you for all of our other guests for coming out and suffering with us, for Kathy for helping.
The hot
all
sauce
the-
just came through my
Yeah, I
stomach.
did so much. This is really hard. That's why.
Right.
Yahoo. All right, thank you, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
We're gonna
Thank
close
you.
this
Have
up.
a wonderful night, and know that you did not consume what we did.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
It's just starting.
All right. Steven, that was hot.
Dave Thomason had such an. He was just like, it's not even going to be hot. By that seventh sauce, he gave me a look that was like, I made a mistake. He was so.
Yeah,
funny.
everything he did was comical in there. He touched his face.
Oh my gosh.
He was using the Kleenex, and it was the hot sauce was coming out his nose.
Yeah, we actually had more money rolling in afterwards, and people didn't stop giving after the 2,000 mark. So that was
Wow.
really amazing. So.
That's awesome. So there's a lot. I think the main point is this: there's a lot of creative ways, fun ways that we can inspire kids. And I think one thing that we should really make sure we do is let the kids dream of what they can do, because God can give them some great things that they can do. And it has a point, and one of the things I try to, we try to do in the network is try to have projects that are kind of, kids can understand them. They're tangible, they're physical, they can almost touch them if they could. This last year we did water filters in Africa, raised over $54,000 for that. This next year we have a number of projects, but one of them we're wanting to do is partner with the Morrows in Uruguay. And why don't we have a couple of videos that you can download from our WNMD Kids website. They'll be available. But why don't we just let the Morrows tell us a little bit about their project there in Uruguay?
Yeah, here in Uruguay, like I was saying, like 90% of the kids that we reach here in this nation are first generation believers. So they're the only Christians in their family history. And so we really make a big emphasis on training national leaders, training pastors to have a passion for it. And out of this is born, our first kids camp we ever did there is in 2004. And we have done kids camps every year. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we have not been able to do those here the last couple of years. But we're always having to rent locations. We're always having to find locations for training and for the camps. And so this project basically has kind of been born out of the pandemic and out of these constant needs. We'll run kids camps. We'll have 400, 500 kids at our kids camps. We have, depending on funds and location that we can find and rent, it'll be one to 4 or 5 camps a year. And so what this is a permanent location that we're going to be building that will be basically seat 500 that we can have on property that's already owned with the Assemblies of God here in Uruguay. And so we're not having to rent. We're not having to, limit ourselves on those things, because locations are very hard to get here, and prices and all the negotiations and all the stuff that goes with it. And so this project is basically a place where these kids can come to have camps, to have events, soccer outreaches, and also training children's leaders, having training events. And so, and I would even say, I would just ask everyone watching here, please pray with us. We're having a meeting next Monday, actually, kind of where all this stuff's going to go nationally in here in Uruguay for children's ministry. And so just be praying that God would have his way in opening doors for that. But yeah, that's the project. And really, it's just a permanent place where we can train leaders and we can disciple children and give them the opportunity to have an experience with God and be marked for God for the rest of their life and all of eternity. And we really appreciate you guys partnering with us. You have no idea. You have no idea. Thank you, Jen.
Well, we are excited to do that. One of the things, Trent and Tina, that we're planning on doing is this is going to be a project for the entire year, and churches can get behind that. I know that you want to have an outdoor facility that kids can be in. And there's other parts of the camp that you need to bring renovations to and everything. But at our summer camps this year, we are going to all of our offerings for that are going to go towards this project. We just had our kids blast this last weekend, and all of the offerings from that are going to this project as well.
Wow.
So I figured since the kids are coming to camp this summer, it would be great for them to say the offerings that we give at camp are going to bless other kids in Uruguay to have their camp. And so that's what we're going to do this year. Just a practical way. And I think I'd love to be able to put something on site that would kind of look like a tabernacle for you, what they would have there, what you'd have there. So we're going to see what we can do to make that happen. And I have an idea, a place that we could do that. So it'll be kind of pretty exciting to do that. So we're excited to partner with you and give in that way.